coming to you live from the Syria-Israel border. And today, we have exclusive information on a dramatic commando operation inside Syria that took place on Syrian territory beyond this very border. In that operation, the IDF destroyed strategic weapon sites and dismantled Iranian-run arms factories, pushing Iran's influence almost entirely out of Syria. It's a story of stealth, audacity, and intelligence work, culminating in the neutralization of Hezbollah's foothold there and the collapse of Iran's supply routes. While Israel paves the way for its own security, Syria itself is dealing with a monumental power shift. The old regime under Bashar al-Assad has vanished, replaced by a new leadership led by a figure known to many as Abu Muhammad al-Julani, who calls himself today Ahmed al-Sarraj. This new government insists that it wants stability and a fresh start. But who is al-Julani for real? And can he unify a fractured nationality that has ravaged by 14 years of civil war? And meanwhile, major players like Turkey, Russia, and the United States are jostling for position. Turkey is working to repel the Kurdish factions on its border and to keep its hold on northern Syria throughout various allied militias. Russia, which once anchored Assad's survival, has largely pulled back, turning its gaze elsewhere after losing a key ally in Damascus. The United States is still present in part of eastern and northern Syria, continuing to back Kurdish forces, but also open to supporting any local group that will help contain threats like ISIS or Iranian proxies. And of course, Israel remains determined to prevent any dangerous buildup near our border. We're seeing IDF units moving into strategic areas of the Syrian Golan and the Syrian Hermon Heights, preventing extremist factions from seizing vital high ground. We've watched the Israeli Air Force carry out hundreds of airstrikes in Syria to destroy weapons that Iran left behind, ensuring that those missiles and drones won't be used against us in the future. All of it means that Israel is protecting itself and is reshaping the strategic balance in the region. This is the new Syria we're dealing with, a chaotic patchwork of competing factions, outside interests, leftover weapons, all overshadowed by the question, will this new leadership under al-Julani actually stabilize Syria or simply replace one form of extremism with another? That is the backdrop for what's happening right behind me, across that border. In just a few minutes, we'll dive deeper into the details of the IDF's commando mission that helped turn the tides against Iran and Hezbollah here, detailing how entire Iranian arms pipelines were shut down, missile factories obliterated, and leftover units of Assad's army were forced to surrender or free. So don't go anywhere, we're just getting started. Shalom and welcome to a special Boots on the Ground live report. I'm Yair Pinto, reporting today from Israel's northern border with Syria. We're here, quite literally, on the borderline of a Middle East that's gone through huge changes in the aftermath of the Assad regime's fall, and these changes directly impact Israel's security. So I encourage you to pray for the situation on the ground. You are watching Boots on the Ground, the show where we bring you real, unfiltered updates from the front lines, land, sea, and air. I'm Yair Pinto, and if you believe in the importance of sharing the truth from Israel and praying for the situation, please take a second to click on the subscribe button, subscribe to this YouTube channel, share our videos, tell your friends, and click the like button. That way, you'll never miss another crucial update about Israel's security and the ongoing challenges in the Middle East. Alright, let's dig into the bigger picture. Syria, once a stronghold of Iranian and Russian power under Bashar al-Assad, is in the midst of a historic transformation. On the effects of right here on the northern Israeli border, how did we get here? Let's talk about Iran's role. For over a decade, Israel and Iran were fighting each other on this country in Syria. Iran invested countless resources into Syrian territory, building missile factories, recruiting militias, arming Hezbollah, and using the chaos of Syria's civil war to threaten Israel's northern border. Now, let's talk about Hezbollah's role. From Lebanon, Hezbollah fighters joined the war to keep Assad's regime alive, committing brutal atrocities in the process. But that war ended in the regime's collapse rather than its victory. And now, Israel's strategy is to determine never to allow advanced missile systems to gather momentum on the border side of our fence and they endanger the Israeli people. So Israel's Air Force spent years striking Iranian convoys, arms depots, R&D sites, and ballistic missile facilities. Israeli ground units also secured vantage points on the Syrian Golan, including the all-important Hermon Heights, which is right here. You see this snow on this mountain? That's the Hermon mountain in Syria. So what's happening now? Okay, we have a new government under El-Julani, or Ahmed El-Shara, whatever you decide to call him. El-Julani was once an Al-Qaeda affiliate known as Abu Muhammad El-Julani. Now, he rebranded himself as Ahmed Asara. He claims he'll unify a battled nation, Syria, promising no reprisals against Alawites, Kurds, Christians, or other minorities. Western governments remain skeptical, but are also keen to see if he can indeed create stable government that breaks from the era of Bashar al-Assad's tyranny. Turkey's maneuvering with Assad's gone, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan sees an opening to push Kurdish forces even further away from Turkey's border. Turkey backs various rebel militias across northern Syria and wants to shape the new order, hoping to prevent a Kurdish state from forming next door to them. And Russia's withdrawal, it means that after years of propping up Assad, defending him, Russia has pulled away troops and advanced systems out of Syria, redirecting them elsewhere. This leaves a power vacuum, one that local factions are scrambling to fill. United States involvement in this area is about the fact that the US has re-upped its presence in selected areas of eastern and northern Syria, working mainly with the Kurdish-led SDF Syrian Democratic Forces to tackle remnants of ISIS, the Islamic State. Remember them? They're still existing here. And keep Iranian elements also from regrouping and reusing Syrian territory to conduct their terrorist activities. American officials also see a chance to keep new extremist groups from taking over the vacuum that was left by the Assad regime. Now, let's talk about the IDF's commando operations in Syria. So, Phase 1 involved massive airstrikes targeting Iran's most sensitive facilities, from ballistic missile hangars near Damascus to chemical labs in Hama province. Phase 2 took place in the ground, and over the last weeks, IDF Special Forces seized control of strategic Mount Hermon, this mountain here behind me, on the Syrian side, as well as the buffer zone near the Golan frontier. so no jihadist group could establish bases with direct line of sight into Israeli communities. Phase 3 was the mission we're focusing on today: high-stakes infiltration by Israeli commandos who blew up entire Iranian-run workshops and arms depots, crippling Tehran's weapon smuggling network. Detailed intelligence underpinned every step. Thanks to the IDF's readiness, advanced Iranian drones and missiles never made it to the enemy hands. Behind me, you can practically sense the tension. On the border side of the border, new alliances are forming. Israel's forces remain on high alert to ensure no extremist militia can threaten our communities. Day by day, we see more evidence that the Iranian corridor, once stretching from Tehran through Baghdad and Damascus, all the way to Hezbollah in Beirut, has effectively collapsed. So, where does this leave Syria? The new leadership must deliver on promises of tolerance, reconstruction, and stable governance. Turkey and Russia each want leverage. The United States might bolster Kurdish autonomy in the east. Israel's zero-tolerance policy towards re-emerging terror infrastructures stands firm. In the coming days, I'll be traveling further along the northern frontier to meet local residents and IDF officers, bringing you live updates and personal stories about life here, right next to the Syrian border, under entirely new management. Is El-Julani indeed turning over a new leaf? Will Iran lose its last foothold in the Levant? This part of the Middle East is called the Levant, by the way. And how will Israel adapt its security doctrine for the next era? Stay with us, because on Boots on the Ground, we bring you the truth about Israel and the Middle East directly from the field. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and support our work by clicking that donate button. Give us a thumbs up and share this video. Let's make sure that everyone gets the real story from right here in Israel. I'm Yair Pinto, and this has been Boots on the Ground live report from northern Israel near the shifting sands of Syria. And until next time, shalom, and keep praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem.